Making a wish. A simple concept. You rub the lamp and ask for your heart's desire. However, there are flaws in this concept. You may get what you want, but there will always be consequences, bringing meaning to the phrase, be careful what you wish for.
It's pretty crazy that a single moment in time can completely change your whole life. Time slowed to a stall and autopilot kicked in. Inaudible words spoken by a doctor we waited too long to see. A series of head nods followed. Everything was crumbling around me. My mother seemed more put together. She was expecting the bad news. Had been complaining about pain in her stomach for months, and now we know. Cancer. They were going to keep her overnight to monitor the situation, run some tests, and see what our options were. My hand grazed along the railing as I made my way to the hospital exit. Without it, I might have wandered in a daze around the corridors for hours. As I reached the doors, I desperately needed the cool, fresh air. My nerves were vibrating, my chest was tight, and whatever energy I had was being used to hold back the tears from falling. The doors slid open, and I gasped for air in sync with the cabbie's car backfiring smoke into my face. Great!
This is too much. It's just been one thing after another. I just lost my job. We can barely pay all the bills as is. We're 2 months behind on rent. I can't lose her too.
I wiped the tears from my face and sat on the nearby bench. I was lost in the overwhelming pain of it all. As I sat there, staring at my feet, there was a shimmer in the corner of my eye. A coin? That's supposed to be good luck, right? It was heavy in my hands and strange. It had this cheesy image of a guy holding a large sack with a $sign on it. The backside had 3 of the sacks in a triangle formation and the words, "Your wishes come true," and "Lucky's Casino." With all that's happened lately, a little luck would be nice. I've only ever been in a casino once before, my 18th birthday. I went in with $100 and left with nothing. When you don't have much in the first place, risking it away doesn't seem like much fun. But with everything falling down around me, I was desperate. And who knows, maybe finding this coin was a good omen. It didn't take long to arrive at the large front doors of the casino, the flashing lights and winning chimes guiding my way. The guy checking IDs looked like a boxer in a suit. He looked at my card and waved me in without any emotion or pleasantries. The gargoyle of the money castle. Once inside, I instantly felt overwhelmed. The lights flashing in every direction, so many noises from machines dinging, coins dropping, people yelling both happily and with anger.
Excuse me!
The eager gentleman bumped into me as he walked past. I hadn't realized I was blocking the entrance. There was so much to take in that I froze in place.
Watch where you're going!
Sorry about that.
But he was already too far ahead to hear me amongst the noise. Proceeding through the maze, I began to search, wandering down the aisles, looking for the right machine. I wasn't going to pour money into a slot until I got a feeling, something magnetic pulling me towards the one. After roughly 10 minutes of walking around, I was beginning to wonder if I was being too picky. Maybe this whole thing was just silly. I clenched the coin in my hand and said to myself,
Okay, the next machine I see with an empty seat in front of it is the one. I'll play it for a minute and then I'm done.
As I took my next few steps, the crowd parted, revealing a bright golden machine so tall it felt like it could light up the entire room. I was mesmerized by its glow, and the leather seat was empty, waiting for me. It was quite comfortable to sit in, too. The machine was called the Wish Granter. Lights shot up from the sides, and it had a man in a black jacket with 3 money sacks. I held up the coin in my hand. It was the same guy?
Wow, it must be fate.
$15,000. That was the jackpot displayed at the top of the machine. Could you imagine? That would pay for Mom's treatment and a nice vacation to celebrate afterwards with some despair. It's just been so stressful lately. Something like this would definitely put my mind at ease. I took a deep breath and looked at the coin in my hand, thumbing across the words, "You wish."
I wish I could win $15,000.
The machine came to life as the coin went inside. Chimes were singing, lights were flashing, and the intensity increased as it all boiled down to this moment. I savored it, soaked it all in. Win or lose, I haven't done anything fun or exciting in a long time.
Here goes nothing. I slowly pressed my hand down on the red spin button, and the reels began to spin. Money bag? 2 money bags? Oh my gosh, did I just...
Wish Granter danced across the screen, revealing the prize amount of $15,000. I had won the jackpot. I couldn't believe it. I was frozen in place with the biggest, goofy smile. By the time an employee came over to congratulate me, I had drawn quite a crowd.
Congratulations, miss. Today is your lucky day. Due to the amount of your winnings, we'd like to give you the discretion of doing the exchange privately. If you would please follow me.
Of course.
The office was rather large. There was a lounge area on one side, leather couches and chairs, live edge tables, bar area nearby. The other side was all business, an endless wall of screens looking over every inch of the casino, and a desk 3 times the size anyone would need with an oversized chair to match. On the wall behind the chair was a giant version of the same coin I used in the slot, but this one only has 2 money bags on it. The man walked in and sat down at the desk. He was rather tall and slim. The suit he wore seemed to stretch out his form. He reminded me of a sleazy salesman type, but I felt comforted knowing he was giving me money rather than asking for it.
Welcome, Miss Tanya. My name is Eddie, and I am very pleased to present to you $15,000. Your first wish has come true.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. I never would have thought this could happen. What exactly do you mean my first wish has come true?
Well, my dear, that coin you found wasn't just any coin. It was my coin. And whenever someone brings it back to me, I reward them by using my powers to grant them 3 wishes. Your first wish, money. Pretty typical. Hopefully we can get a little more creative with the second wish, okay?
I'm not sure I understand what's happening here. Wishes? You want me to make wishes? Like here, now?
Well, time is money. I do prefer to get these things done quickly, but I suppose I could give you some time to think things over. Whenever you come up with something, anything beyond your wildest dreams, you know where to find me.
Thank you.
I had never held on to crisp bundles of cash before, and this was mine. I put the money in my purse and kept it closely tucked under my arm. I went directly home. As I laid in bed, I thought about the day. I can't wait to go back to the hospital tomorrow and tell Mom all about this. This money means there's hope. It means security. And for Mom, it could make the difference between life and death. That morning, when I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was bundles of cash on my nightstand. It wasn't a dream. A tingle of warmth and joy flowed over my body. I couldn't help but have the biggest smile on my face. While having my morning coffee, I looked through bills and past dues, calculating and setting aside the cash needed. It was a little worse than I thought, but now there was plenty to cover it all. $9,750. That's what was left. Still a good amount, and should cover medical bills. Now that all the logistics were taken care of, I wanted to see Mom. I know she isn't a big fan of hospitals, and it was probably a daunting night. If she could see this money, I just know it would make her smile and give her hope. Against my better judgment, I put the remaining money back in my purse. Mom might be in the hospital for a while, and I wanted her to see the cash before it was spent. As I walked down the street, my mind danced with possibilities and the good things to come. Like walking on air, everything just seemed lighter. I could see rainbows of bright colors coming from Peggy's flower shop just ahead. Lilies were always my mom's favorite. Peggy was watering the bouquets by the entrance.
Anything I can help you with today?
My mom's in the hospital, and I'd like to get her some lilies.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Are you looking for orange lilies, white lilies?
White, please.
Good choice. Over here we have some singles, bouquets, and gift basket options.
I barely glanced at the singles. I knew I wanted something more grand. The flowers were all beautiful, but this had to be special. As I moved down the aisle, it was as if the rows of flowers parted, exposing the most beautiful arrangement of white lilies, baby's breath, and lush greenery. It was huge. I couldn't even count the number of flowers arranged there. This was the one. It even had a vase with a nice design etched into it. How much is this one?
$85. It's a popular choice for weddings and celebrations this year.
Well, I plan on celebrating as soon as she's out of the hospital. I'll take it. Normally, I could never justify paying so much for something like flowers, but everything felt good right now. With all the stress we've been going through, we deserved to splurge a little bit. The flowers were no doubt stunning. However, I did not think about how I was going to manage carrying them to the hospital for my mother. I fumbled leaving the store, walking sideways through the door. I struggled to see past the leaves. I tried my best to navigate the way through by looking down at the sidewalk. It wasn't much farther. All I had to do was walk across the street and down 2 blocks. I waited at the corner for the light to change. The other side of the street was much more busy. I'd have to be more careful when I got there. Finally came the green light, and I stepped out onto the street. Immediately, I heard a car slamming on the brakes and honking their horn. It startled me so bad I almost dropped the flowers. Typical city driver, always in a hurry and blaming everyone in their way. I collected my nerves and continued across the street, half blind. I made it. I was barely past the convenience store on the corner when I felt something hit my shin. I knew immediately that I was going down. That moment of helplessness seemed to last forever as I watched myself fall forward and lose grip on my newly purchased expensive flowers. The vase shattered on impact, water streaks shooting outward like fireworks, and the flowers lay on the concrete, abused and much more sad-looking. I sat there looking at the mess, dazed and distraught. Well, what did I even trip on? And that's when I noticed the man running in the distance with my purse, a purse that had almost 10 grand in it, gone. He was too far away for me to catch up to, and I never saw his face. Just some guy in blue jeans and a black t-shirt who just stole my mother's future treatment fund.
I just had to bring it with me today. Why couldn't I have just stashed it at home?
I got up, dusted myself off, and picked up what I could of the flowers. I felt so defeated. For the rest of the walk, I tried to find the words for what I was going to tell my mother.
Hi, Mom. Guess what? I solved all of our problems by winning money at the casino, but lost almost all of it today. Oh, and here's some luxurious flowers I fell on.
I feel worse now than I did 24 hours ago. Well, hopefully the doctor will have some good news today, and maybe the treatment won't be too much. Right now, I just want to hug my mom. The doctor was in the room as I entered.
Oh, hello, Tanya. I'm glad you're here. I was just about to go over your mother's results.
Are those for me? Oh, white lilies. You remembered.
Of course, Mom. Though they looked a lot nicer when I got them. It's been a morning. I attempted to place the flowers on the bedside table, but without a container, they spread out, and a couple fell on the floor. Thank you for taking care of her. How is she doing, Dr.
Dr. Sturgeon. Yeah, my mother used to say, with a name like Sturgeon, you should have been a surgeon. Just a bit of a joke there. But all joking aside, the results show your mother is stable for now, but the cancer's been aggressive. So far, it has stayed in the abdomen area, but we're concerned about it spreading. We'd like to keep her here for a few more days to monitor the situation and get some more fluids in her.
What about our options for treatment? Chemo? What do we do here?
Right now, I'm not recommending chemotherapy. It would be too hard on her body in its current conditions. So right now, we have to be patient and see how she responds to the steroids and the medications that we're giving her. Best case scenario, she improves in the next week or so, and we can reassess. Look, I want to be honest with you. There's a significant chance that it's progressed too far for treatment. I would suggest starting to get her affairs in order just in case.
I appreciate your honesty, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Sturgeon. The air felt a little thicker. We knew this was a possibility, but I never fully accepted that it could be a reality. I decided not to tell her about winning the money or losing it. Not yet, anyway. There was already enough going on, and I don't need to add to the stress. We talked all afternoon. I wrote down her wishes and important details, and then we reminisced about good old days. Times of picnics in the park, family events, back when we lived closer to everyone, and trips to the beach. We never went on any lavish vacations, but Mom always made sure I was happy and felt loved. That day, I didn't leave the hospital until Mom fell asleep. I wasn't ready to lose her yet, and I wanted to spend whatever time we had left together. On my way home, I couldn't help but think about the casino and what Eddie had said. Mine was going home and sleeping, but my feet took me to the doorstep of the casino. Eddie had good intentions, but I don't actually think wishing cancer away would work. Maybe I just needed someone to talk to. Either way, I was here. I might as well go in and see if he was here. The flashing lights and pings of the machines were not as alluring, though just as noisy, maybe even slightly annoying this time. I didn't care for the excitement. I craved comfort. I found the office and knocked on the door.
Come in.
He was sitting on the leather sofa smoking a cigar, putting it out in the ashtray as I entered.
Ah, Tanya, good to see you again. I was wondering how long it would take you to come back. Ready for another wish?
I'm not sure wishing will help my problem.
Why don't you give it a try?
My mother is dying of cancer. I think it's going to take more than just wishing to make things better.
Right now, you have all the power in the world. You just don't realize it. What's the harm in trying, huh? Give it a try.
I wish my mother wasn't dying of cancer. A large smile grew across his face. It almost looked sinister. Why would he look at me like that?
Wonderful wish. Now, go home.
What?
Go home. Get some rest. Tomorrow will be a big day.
I felt bewildered. I didn't know what I was expecting going in there, but this wasn't it. I glanced across the room on my way to the door. The coin on the wall, it only has one money bag on it now. That's strange. I went straight home and crawled into bed. When I woke up the next day, I had a hard time getting out of bed. I was very groggy and tired.
What time is it? Oh, crap. It's 11 a.m. How did I sleep in so much? Mom is probably wondering where I am.
I scrambled to get cleaned up and dressed. I quickly ate a piece of toast and grabbed my phone off the charger. I had a voicemail from the hospital.
Hi, Tanya. It's Dr. Sturgeon. There's been a change in your mother's condition, and we'd like you to come down as soon as possible. Thank you.
A change? That doesn't sound good. All the horrible thoughts raced through my head. I'm not ready for this. I ran out of the apartment and all the way to the hospital. I never run, so by the time I reached the front door, my face was beet red, and I was gasping for air. But I couldn't stop. I didn't even wait for an elevator. I had to see her. I burst through her door and collapsed on the floor. I must have passed out because when I opened my eyes, Dr. Sturgeon was flashing a light in them. That's when I noticed that my mother was holding my hand. She was out of bed. She was even smiling.
Tanya, how are you feeling? Can you tell me, how many fingers do you see?
Mom.
Tanya, how many fingers?
4. Mom, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, dear. Are you okay? What happened?
I ran here when I heard your condition changed, but you look better. What happened to you?
Well, we're running more tests because I'm trying to find out if our previous test misdiagnosed your mother. Well, the good news is that since everything looks fine for now, you can take your mother home today. Right now, even. Yeah, I'm just finishing her release forms. We would like to see her again next week for a follow-up, though.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. I appreciate all your kindness.
Thank you. Let's go home, Mom.
I don't understand how this happened. All I know is that I am so thankful to have my mom back. Life's been a roller coaster lately, and I can't wait to relax with a cup of tea and my mom. Looping my arm into hers, we walked outside.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to book that follow-up appointment for next week. Why don't you relax on the bench here, and I'll run back inside real quick. I'll be right back. Love you, Mom.
Love you too. Take your time. It's just so nice to get some fresh air.
My heart felt full. This was all I wanted right now. I re-entered the hospital and headed for the nurse's desk. I had just put my hand on the counter when screams suddenly filled the air. Followed quickly with rumbles and banging so loud I could feel the whole building shake. Everyone around started running towards the front door. I couldn't see what happened through the crowd, but I could hear people talking about it. Something about a possible drunk driver? The crowd was parted by paramedics bringing in a man on a stretcher. I heard one of them say cardiac arrest, so maybe it was a heart attack. At least he picked a good place to have one. The crowd didn't dissipate after that. In fact, more doctors ran outside. I followed closely behind and made it through the crowd. I could see the tire marks streak across the street and onto the grass, directly toward the bench my mother was sitting on. They had already laid a sheet across her body. My world came to a standstill. I couldn't hear anything but a buzzing in my ears. She was healthy. I just got her back. The shock turned into sadness, but soon all I had was anger.
Eddie.
I clenched my fists in fury and started down the street. I wanted answers, now! I rushed past the security guard as he raised his arm in a poor attempt to slow me down.
I'm here for Eddie.
He backed down and I stormed inside. When I reached his office, I opened his door with the same vigor. He was at his desk, leaned back with his feet resting on the corner.
What did you do?
What you asked me to do, my dear.
I wanted my mother to live.
You said you wanted her not to die of cancer. That's a little different, don't you think?
But that's not fair. Why would you do that to me?
Oh, please. You think you're special? Listen, sweetie, I've been doing this for centuries, and everybody asks for the same thing over and over again. Money, love, fame, power. I guess somewhere along the way I got bored and wanted a little more excitement. If I must do people's bidding, I might as well make it interesting.
You think it's fun to ruin people's lives? Toy with people's emotions? I wish this was all over with.
Oh no. What did I just say? The smile on his face was even larger than last time.
I didn't mean that. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to leave me alone.
If that's your wish.
In the blink of an eye, I was no longer in his office. It was loud and a little confined. After a panicked moment, I realized I was sitting in the back of a helicopter over the city. Eddie was in the pilot's seat.
Here we are, your final wish.
Here? Where? What's happening?
One way or another, it's all over after this. Since I am a gambling man, I'll give you a chance. 1 in 5 chances, actually. You see, there are 5 seats on this helicopter. You'll have 30 seconds to choose a seat before the helicopter crashes. Choose the wrong one, you die.
Can't we talk about this?
It was too late. He was gone. Countdown begins. Which one? Which one? The front seats have the big window that could smash and kill me. The sides could be crushed or impaled. 1 in 5 isn't bad, but it's not great odds when your life is at stake. I don't know. He wouldn't put me in the safe seat, would he? Then if I moved anywhere, I'd be dead. Oh shit, out of time! I was still breathing. My entire body ached, but I was alive. When the helicopter crashed, the pilot's side hit the corner of a condominium, smashing large shards of glass into both front seats. The seat to my right was crushed from the impact, metal shards poking in all directions. To the left of me, an electrical cord flopped around from side to side, spewing the sparks that woke me up. I carefully unbuckled my seatbelt and crawled over the glass methodically to escape. I couldn't help but cry. I was free. I was so lucky. But I'll never step foot in a casino again.
Poor unfortunate soul. She got lucky.